Dogs can age quietly. There's not just a click of the fingers and suddenly they're old. The aging process is always happening, but slowly. And the real heartbreak is that we often don't notice until they already have aged. So how old is your dog truly? And how many years should you two still have together? Part 1. The Great Age Myth. To truly wrap our heads around this subject, we first need to begin by exploring the classic lie we've all been fed over and over, that one dog year equals 7 human years. But there's so much more nuance to it than that. In fact, there are 2 key factors at play here. First, dog aging is front-loaded. In the early years, your dog ages rapidly, packing in growth and development before things start to slow down. And the second thing is your dog's size. In most animal species, larger animals live longer. Elephants outlive mice. Whales outlive dogs. But among dogs, the opposite is true. The bigger the dog, the shorter the lifespan. This counterintuitive pattern puzzled scientists for years. But in 2013, a major study led by evolutionary biologist Dr. Cornelia Krauss at the University of Göttingen finally helped explain it. After analyzing data from over 74 dog breeds and more than 56,000 individual dogs, researchers found that large dogs age at an accelerated pace. Their bodies grow faster, cells replicate more rapidly, and age-related damage accumulates sooner. So, how do you actually calculate your dog's age? Researchers at UC San Diego suggest that your dog's age in human years roughly equals 16 multiplied by the natural logarithm of the dog's age, then add 31. If you're not in the mood to run logarithms through a calculator, here's a quick cheat sheet most vets go by. At 1 year old, your dog is already about 15 in human years. There's this front loading we've talked about. Your dog will age faster as a puppy. At 2 years, they're around 24. After that, for each additional year, add about 5 human years if they're a small breed, or 7 to 9 years for larger dogs. Based on these formulas, our 10-year-old Staffy is anywhere from 68 to 88 years old, which is rather vague, I would say. Age is just a number, and it doesn't actually tell you when your dog starts feeling older, because aging doesn't always arrive with a gray muzzle. In fact, the earliest signs of aging are so subtle, you might miss them, unless you know what to look for. The key is spotting that moment and knowing how to adapt before your dog starts struggling in silence. Part 2. Behavior clues that aging has begun. Seeing as dogs are not quite aging, how and at the rate we thought they were, how can you tell they're aging at all? Especially if they've retained their playful puppy-like habits. Let's talk about some dog behaviors that scream, "I'm not as young as I pretend to be." Sign number 5, subtle change in playstyle. Perhaps your dog still grabs the squeaky toy, but they only toss it around once rather than performing Olympic-level floor routines. Or they still play tug of war, but give up halfway through like they're contemplating their mortgage. That can be a sign of physical fatigue, joint discomfort, or just a shift in energy priorities. So while your dog is still playing, it's important to note how they are playing. If these changes are a permanent change, that's a real sign that the aging process is officially doing its thing. Sign number 4, hesitation with stares or jumps. All jokes on pause for a moment, this is a serious sign. It may seem cute if your dog now lingers and hesitates before jumping or scaling stairs, like they're nervous. But it can be a sign of a significant issue. Dogs are masters of bluffing. They'll avoid the stairs by pretending they just don't feel like it right now. However, often that hesitation is due to early arthritis, joint stiffness, or a loss of confidence. If your formerly stair-surfing daredevil is now staring up at the landing like it's Everest, take note. Sign number 3, mood shifts. If your dog, now grumpy in the morning, despite usually being chipper at all times, are they suddenly less patient with loud noises, having previously been okay with all manner of sounds, suddenly less interested in greeting new dogs at the park? As dogs age, they can become more emotionally conservative. They no longer want to be the life of the party. They want to know where the exits are and if anyone brought soft snacks. Sign number 2, increased clinginess. If your dog suddenly becomes your full-time shadow, one of the reasons is aging. Older dogs often crave more emotional reassurance. Their senses may be dulling, and being near you provides a kind of sonar for their heart. They may no longer feel invincible, but your presence becomes their security blanket. Sign number 1, sleep pattern changes. If your dog starts sleeping more or zoning out at unusual times, this could be an early sign of cognitive aging. Or it could be that they, like many middle-aged creatures, simply don't care to pretend they're interested anymore. Either way, it's worth noticing, because it's a significant change, and means typically more changes are coming. Part 3. Emotional seasons of a dog's life. Dogs undergo emotional stages that in some ways mirror human development. Now that you know some of the less obvious signs that your dog is aging, you can use them as guiding lights to help you figure out which emotional season your dog is in. Season 1. The intern of emotion. Young dogs are a bundle of chaos on 4 legs. They're driven by curiosity, insecurity, and a lack of ability to sit still unless bribed with food. And even then, it doesn't quite work, does it? They leap before looking, love everyone indiscriminately, and think boundaries are optional. Season 2. The confident coworker. Around middle age, dogs tend to settle into their routine. They know your schedule, understand household politics, and act like they're on the neighborhood watch committee. They want to be a part of things, but not in a lick every visitor's face kind of way. This all comes down to being more comfortable in themselves and sure of themselves. Season 3. The soulful philosopher. Older dogs want peace. They want routine. While a middle-aged person knows your household rhythms, a senior dog actively wants them. They like soft bedding and predictability. They still love you deeply, but their energy shifts from let's conquer the backyard to let's just sit and watch the birds. Understanding this emotional evolution helps you meet your dog where they are now, not where they were 5 years ago when they were eating socks and sprinting in circles. Part 4. Physical signs that whisper. You're probably getting the hint at this point that sometimes aging doesn't loudly bark, as it were. It can be quiet. It just raises an eyebrow and clears its throat. Here are some subtle physical changes to watch for. Muscle loss. If your dog appears to be a little less muscular these days, especially around the hips or shoulders, it may be an early sign of muscle atrophy. This can impact balance, confidence in movement, and overall comfort. It's often most noticeable when they hesitate to jump, climb stairs, or rise from a lying position. Thinning fur on head or face. It's not just humans whose hair thins, but your precious pooch as well. It happens slowly. One day you realize their eyebrows are whisper light, or the bridge of their nose looks a bit bare. It's not necessarily a health issue, but it is a gentle nudge from Father Time and Mother Nature. Bluish haze in the eyes. Also known as nuclear sclerosis, this condition is typically non-painful and doesn't significantly affect vision. However, it still gives your dog's eyes a cloudy, smoky quality. It's like your precious pooch is slowly turning into a wise wizard who's seen too much. This cloudiness is different from cataracts. Nuclear sclerosis affects the lens's density, while cataracts involve opacity that can block vision. A vet can quickly distinguish the two using a light test. Soft lumps under the skin. Fatty tumors, or lipomas, are prevalent in older dogs. They feel like little jelly beans hiding under the fur. While most lipomas are harmless, similar feeling lumps like mast cell tumors can be malignant. So any new or fast-growing lumps should be checked. Your vet may recommend a simple needle biopsy for peace of mind. Droopier expressions or posture. Older dogs often develop a slightly saggy look, a bit like the classic cartoon character Droopy. The face becomes longer, the ears droop, and the tail carries less bounce. This droopiness often results from decreased muscle tone and collagen loss in the skin. Combined with slower movements and stiffer joints, it can give your dog a more solemn or tired appearance, even if they're still just as loving and alert. Part 5. How to deal with your dog's aging. Here's the emotional part. When we misjudge our dog's age, we might misjudge their needs. And it's not just about giving them the wrong supplements or too hard food. It's about changing how you see them. If your dog is aged out of the mischievous puppy who once ate a shoe and blamed the cat, they may be needing more patience, downtime, and activities they can enjoy calmly. Knowing your dog is aging doesn't have to be sad. It can be beautiful. It means they've been with you long enough to show you the whole arc of their heart. It means you get the chance to honor their life by understanding them as they are now. So next time your dog pauses at the stairs, or brings you a toy but doesn't want to play, or falls asleep mid-walk like a tiny furry philosopher, take a breath, meet them where they are in life, and give them what they need. Dogs don't fear aging. They fear separation, confusion, and being misunderstood. Your job isn't to stop the clock. It's to walk with them as the seasons change. Because if your dog is showing signs of aging, it means they've lived. It means they've loved. It means you've had the immense privilege of watching a life unfold in front of you that honestly makes you pretty lucky. And if you want to make a massive difference to the life they do have left, watch this next video.